Yerf dog. There she is. Let's see what we can do with this.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Well, today we're going to be working on some go-karts here. Well, we're going to start with one for sure. Let me show you what we got here. We got this Yerf dog two-seater thing. A friend of mine dropped this off. He drug it out of some snowbanks in Idaho. He was moving some stuff up there for the family. Brought this back. I'm familiar with that name, Yerf dog. They make some go-karts. I didn't know they made these two-seater ones. I know they make smaller go-karts, but this one looks like it's got the scooter or quad engine. I think they call that the GY6 if I am not mistaken, which I've been known to be mistaken before, but I think it's kind of like basically a scooter engine. And I'll show you the other go-karts, which I think we'll probably focus on this one, but if it goes well, we may do more than one in this video. We got a second Yerf dog here with an old Predator 212 engine on it. It's a Harbor Freight engine. This one should be pretty straightforward, honestly. And then I don't know what the brand is on this little fella here. And I don't know what that engine is. Jiangdong engine. Who knows? But it's another just like a basic lawnmower style engine. So I imagine these two should be pretty simple to get going. Although, you know, we have lots of other issues on them. The tire, yeah, all normal stuff from sitting around. But first and foremost, this thing looks like it's been sitting here with the airbox open. This was up here, this little magnetic tray, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I think that looks like it's the air filter. Gross. Anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll probably just, well, I tell you what, let's push it in the garage and we'll figure it out from there together. We're going to concentrate on getting the engine running first, but there's a few other things I already noticed. Like when I first got this thing, this whole spindle was hanging off because this lower ball joint is completely broken. I don't know, these things look like they're plastic caps or something on here. I imagine these parts are around and available. I don't know, is there something wrong with this one too? It looks like, yeah. Both of these, looks like there's supposed to be maybe a little rubber bit on there. And up here on this, who knows? We'll get the engine going first though. I was gonna give it a bath, but I don't even know as if the engine turns over. So I guess that'll be the first thing we can do. Is I'll probably pull the spark plug out and we'll see if we can't get the engine to turn over. I was quite worried. I drained that water and that nasty old paper filter and I saw the spark plug sitting in here. But it does appear there's a spark plug in the engine. So maybe there is. Yeah, I can feel it in there. The spark plug boot is in bad shape. There it is. So we'll pull that spark plug out. Maybe I'll spray a little bit of oil in there and then we'll crank this engine over a little bit and see what we got. The spark plug looks pretty good. And I sprayed a little bit of this down in the spark plug hole. And engine seems like it turns over just fine. So I see it looks like the battery connects right here. So I'm going to dig through my motorcycle batteries, find one that I can fit there, strap it down, and then see if we can get this thing to crank over and see if we have spark. All right, I got a battery down here, hooked it up, and I imagine that this is a on and off switch here, and this is a start switch, but no matter what position I put that in, nothing happens. So I have the spark plug grounded up against the engine up here, and I'm going to use this as my starter right here. Jump across these terminals and let's see here if we've got spark. Oops. Seen some sparks. So I think we got some troubleshooting to do with these switches and stuff, but let's put that spark plug in there. Better check the oil, of course, first, and we'll spray a little go juice in there and see if this thing makes a little bit of noise. All right, there's something resembling oil in the crankcase down here. I got some of this juice, and I got my starter here. So we're gonna spray a little bit of this juice here in the carburetor, which is like completely seized up. This carburetor is a mess, but I think if we get some in there, along with some sparky action here, this thing will make a little bit of noise. Let's see what happens. Not yet. All right, well, let's try some more. Okay. Well, we'll keep trying. All right, I got it to pop just a second ago, so we'll try a little bit more here and see what this thing does. I got the throttle plate a little loosened up here, so. There you go. It's got a little bit of life to her. So we're gonna pull this carburetor off, as we should have done to begin with anyway, but you know, I like to get that feeling that it's going to actually work. So we'll pull that carburetor off, we'll get that cleaned up. Yeah, I didn't even look to see where the choke was on this thing. Oh, I think it has an electrical choke. Yeah, because it's a scooter engine. So, and that might be part of the problem why it's not starting very easy anyway. We'll make sure this gas tank is empty so we don't put any more garbage into it. But we'll get this carburetor cleaned up and maybe troubleshoot a little bit of these wires over here too. This is what happens when you let a vehicle sit with gas in the carburetor. That will never run. Well, as is, it will never run. It's gonna run though. We're gonna clean that up. We'll get it going. And after looking at this and following the wires, you know, I started right here and I troubleshot that thing, making sure we had continuity on the switch. And sure enough, I followed it back and I saw that the wire split off down to this little switch here, which I thought was just a brake light switch. And then I seen there's no brake lights on here. So what you need to do is hold the brakes down and then the starter switch works. So we've solved that. We can still use our screwdriver if we want to, but I'm gonna clean that carburetor up. I have dozens and dozens of carburetor cleaning videos, and so if you need to know how to clean a Yerf dog carburetor, you can look on my channel under scooter. I've worked on scooters. This is a scooter carburetor. It's the same as many of them. That looks a little bit better, huh? See those things that are brass that were like green before? So we'll get it all assembled, installed, and I have a pretty good feeling this thing is going to run. So we'll replace this rotten fuel line and put some fuel in the tank and give her a shot. Okay, got the camera set up. Let's see if we can get her fired up. I got the fuel line installed and gas in the tank. It runs. Might be out of fuel. I didn't put a whole lot in there, so there we go. It does run. I got the oil and changed that out. It's full of gas or something. And adjusted the idle up just a little bit. So we're idling. Probably adjust it down actually, but we'll just let it run for a minute here. We definitely have some smoke. Who knows though? let her run. There she is. And it even goes under its own power too. I had a friend come by right after I got this thing running the other day, so I had to kind of stop where I was at, but it's been running a little bit. It's running a little bit better, a lot better maybe even. Just gotta bump the idle up. Maybe I should have bumped it down because now we're taking off. Let me turn that down. And it looked like it was smoking a bit yesterday. It doesn't look like it's smoking now. I don't know, maybe that cleared up. I did change the oil. There was a lot of gas in it. As you can see, I've safely tied the battery on there. Now we're still creeping a little bit more here. But the more it runs, I think the better it's running. It was a little bit difficult to start this morning. I put a little bit of spray in there and it took off, but we are running without an air filter. So who knows? Let's take a little spin in it. I'm really surprised the brakes work as good as they do. Ooh, it doesn't steer very good. It's got no power going up the hill here. Woohoo! I got this high-class stand here. I've been running it up. I put the air box on and I found a lawnmower air filter that kind of fit. So I tried it with a filter. I tried it without. It doesn't run any differently. It goes really good from like idle to half throttle, and then it starts bogging out, and it's spitting fuel out of here a little bit, you can see. So I probably need to work on the carburetor a little bit more. I didn't do a deep clean on it really. I just scrubbed it and put her back together to make sure that this thing worked and everything was operational. But I'm probably going to either take that carburetor completely apart and soak it for a couple days, or maybe even just order another one. Lubricated this chain a little bit and it's still, you can see we got like kinks in it, so that probably just needs to be lubed down really good. Probably really should be replaced. So at this point I think I'm done for now, because we're going to need parts at this point. So I've done everything I can basically with a can of carburetor cleaner and a quart of fuel, and that's about all I put into it. Some air in the tires, but we got it running. Drove it. Ball joints are held on with hose clamps on each side. So starting at the front, we're going to need ball joints. It would be silly not to replace all four. We're going to need a battery. We're going to need at least an air filter. If not, just replace the carburetor, and that might just about do it. You know, put some slime in the tires to keep them from going flat, or just pump them up every day. But besides that, I mean, it operates. The brakes actually work amazing. I didn't touch those, so happy for that. But it does have a hydraulic brake system. The lights actually work. You know, this is kind of a mess up here. You know, we could fix all that later. We'll worry about operational stuff. But that's it. Good little cart, and I think probably about $200 to $300 would have it operating nicely. So if you got yourself a little go-kart sitting in a snowbank in Idaho, hit me up and bring it on down to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures workshop here, and we'll get her going for not too much. And then you got to decide where you want to stop, because sometimes free things are the most expensive things. But we'll see. I think it's worth throwing a little bit of money at this. They want to take it back to the ranch there and roll around with the grandkids. That sounds like a good idea to me. So, all right, if you're liking my content, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.